Oh.
Jojo.
Kitty. Who's a good kitty?
Jojo.
Even JoJo's afraid of Fannie Mae. JoJo's staying on the roof.
Since she saw that what happened to your house, she's staying on the roof.
Exactly.
She's afraid to get locked in and die, starving to death.
Jojo.
Whoa! Meow meow.
I'm here to tell you the story of my friend Albert. This is Albert's house. It's a very nice house. He has 8 fruit trees in the backyard, and last year he had a beautiful, very nice garden. Albert loves to prune his fruit trees. Albert's getting kicked out of his house. His landlord was foreclosed on, and Freddie Mac ended up owning the house. As landlords, they are kicking him out for no reason. He's willing to pay rent, but Freddie Mac, the current landlord, won't accept rent, and they won't say why. Freddie Mac's lawyer told Albert that he works for both Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, and that both are currently kicking everyone out of their homes, irrespective of whether they are delinquent homeowners or tenants who have been renting. He said that he had never seen them allow a tenant to stay in a home outside of a rent-controlled area. He said that he kicks people out of their homes all day, every day. That's how he makes his living. This is not a lawyer's story. This is my friend Albert's story.
Well, it looks like what Freddie Mac is doing is just kicking out tenants. You know, if they have a house and there's tenants in it, they're just kicking them out. And it's not obvious why they're doing that. That's part of the reason I'm making this movie is I think in the process of making the movie, I might figure out why they're doing it.
We're in Newark. We're in the San Francisco Bay Area, right by the Silicon Valley. This isn't Detroit. This isn't Stockton. You know, holy schmackerel. I mean, in Detroit, you know, they're creating fields out of what used to be upper income level neighborhoods. There are ghost towns. And people think that it's not happening where they are, but it is happening where they are. I can tell you this, they're empty, no one's in them, and they're not for sale.
Why are you weeding when you're not going to live here anymore?
Well, you know, this is my home. I live here, and I love this place. And, you know, it'll always be my home up until the day I move out. And I just want it to be nice.
Here's the resident of the home of Locust Street. This is Albert. Recently kicked out of this house by Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or Chase or, you know, I don't think they know who are foreclosing on properties and neither renting them nor selling them. Effectively, Albert, I guess if you could explain it to us, I guess they're playing with supply and demand.
You know, Michael, I think your house is a perfect example. You know, you've got the one unit that's been vacant for what, like 3 years now. It's the inside's burned out, and they didn't even fix it. You know, they just left it burned out for 3 years. They've only got one unit burned out. It's the left one here. The back one they kicked the people out of a few months ago, and I've got some pictures of what it looked like after they kicked the people out and kicked the people out and kicked the people out.
So they're kicking people out of properties and not renting them or selling them.
Yep, they're just kicking them out and leaving them empty, and it's really sad.
In a beautiful neighborhood like this.
That's what they're going to do to my house.
Anyone could scratch your side.
post office building. This is where the courtroom is, where you file ex parte petitions.
Yeah, this is crazy. And you know why nobody got in trouble over the housing thing is because Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac bought all those bundled up mortgages and nobody was frickin' paying attention. So who's really responsible? Well, the banks aren't responsible because the very first time, right? Imagine this, it's like Genesis, right? It's like the Bible, in the beginning, right? At some point, right, somewhere in the US, right, there was a mortgage that was no money down. They piggybacked off of somebody else's credit. It was negative amortization, interest only, or 40 years, whatever, right? And somebody snuck it on up to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and tried to see if it would make it through and get approved. And lo and behold, it was.
And it was on after that.
And on the second day, the bankers put 2 mortgages all bundled up and ready to go and gave it to Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. And the 3rd day, and the 4th day, and the 5th day, and on the 6th day, they said, this is good. And on the 7th day, they rested. But then, the next week, holy schmackerel, the pearly gates opened up. And Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac couldn't get enough of no money down, people with no income piggybacking off of other people's credit reports, and they sucked it all in like a Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Your tax dollars at work.
Unbelievable.
After the house got foreclosed, you know, they contacted me. I actually got contacted by Freddie Mac and by Chase Bank also. They both wanted to collect rent from me and have me give me money to move out and so on. So I told them both I wanted to stay. They just kept jerking me around and telling me they were going to sign a lease agreement with me, and then one day I got a note on my gate that said the sheriffs were going to kick me out, and then that's when this whole eviction process started. You know, I got a note on the gate that said they were going to be there in a week, and I've been talking to this attorney, and I asked her, you know, what's going on there? I got a note on my gate that says they're going to evict me. And she says, oh, don't worry about that, that's just a mistake, we're not going to evict you. So I call up the sheriff's department and I tell them, you know, I got this note on my gate, but the attorney for Freddie Mac tells me that it's just a mistake. And they say, oh no, it's not a mistake, we're going to be there in a week to evict you. And so I went into court and I filed this ex parte petition, and I got on the internet and figured out how to file a bunch of other stuff to try to stop them from kicking me out. And then Melissa calls me the next day. She says, oh, I see you filed a bunch of paperwork, but we've already stopped the eviction, so and we're going to let you stay as a tenant, so just don't worry about it, you know, just don't show up at court tomorrow and we'll just drop the whole thing. And at this point I couldn't really believe her, so I went ahead and showed up at court, and they had another lawyer there in court that was saying that they should be able to throw me out that day. Kind of hard to believe, you know, how they would lie to me right up to the last minute, you know, right up until we're actually in court arguing. They're trying to tell me that they're not trying to kick me out. Okay, this is the county administration building. This is where my case is today. Well, I got my paperwork filed. We'll have a hearing next week to see if they can kick me out or not. Well, we've got a settlement conference scheduled for tomorrow, but they filed so much paperwork that the judge didn't have time to read it all, so we rescheduled the hearing for next week. Well, that was a waste of time. The lawyer that they sent to negotiate with me didn't have any authority to negotiate anything, so couldn't do anything.
Where are you going, Albert?
Oh, I'm going to court. Freddie Mac's lawyers filed a bunch of paperwork to try to stop the trial. And I have to go and try to fight them so I can have a jury trial. This is all the stuff that they filed. They're trying to stop the trial.
Oh my gosh, the plot thickens.
My box is getting full. The hearing got postponed until tomorrow. I won the hearing. They tried to stop me from having a jury trial, but I beat them, and the trial is scheduled for tomorrow. I'm off to court. Freddie Mac's lawyer told me, even if you get a jury trial, and even if you win the jury trial, we'll still have you out in 90 days. So I asked my lawyer about that, and she says that basically that's true, that even if I win the jury trial and get the eviction thrown out, that they can file a new eviction and file all their paperwork properly and have me served and everything, and they can have me out of there in 90 days. So I asked her, why are we still fighting if we can't win? And she says, well, basically we're just fighting for a fair settlement. The settlement they're offering right now is just totally unreasonable. They're asking me to agree to have an eviction on my record that would make it hard for me to rent another place, and they're asking me to agree to be responsible for damage to the house. And the way they've written the agreement, I would be responsible for damage even if it occurred after I moved out. So basically, we're just fighting for a fair settlement.
Albert's a great guy. For that property, compared to when the bank took it over, and then I guess between Chase and everybody else, and they figured out who owned the land, and spent $100,000 might be a little high, but anything's possible because who's watching the lawyers right now? I can tell you this, for the number of years that units have been vacant in our neighborhood, you're approaching hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, I waited all day for a courtroom, and then they told me to come back on Monday. I signed the settlement today. We have to be out July 22nd.
This is me, Michael Street. This is my house. I lived here for 3 years and love this place almost as much as I hate it. I love the place because I made it nice. I fixed up the yard and I fixed up the house, and I built a nice shed out back. I hate it because the unit next door had a fire years ago and Freddie Mac never fixed it, and they don't maintain it. The unit in back is vacant too. They kicked out the tenants months ago and then let the place turn into a garbage dump. They have 2 out of 3 units emptied out now, and they are coming after me. I expected to live here for a long time, but Freddie Mac stopped cashing the rent checks and told me to move out. But I'm going to stay and fight.
Building a greenhouse. Just putting the plastic on. Building a greenhouse. Pulling out the weeds. Putting up the greenhouse. Putting the plastic on the sides. Just building a greenhouse.
flowers from my gardens to all. Roast apples and greens and berries and
So where the rubber meets the road in this story really touches at the base and the heart and the foundation of the free market system. What's being shown here and what you're about to see and maybe what you've seen is literally what's happening personally to people regardless of what you're seeing on the evening news. It's one thing to sit in the comfort of your living room and watch the TV with your feet up and listen to reports on ABC or NBC or CBS about how Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac have tried to bolster, the real estate market. And they're doing that by holding on to and not releasing into the free market, either by selling or by renting properties that they've taken over through the mortgage crisis, because they don't want to flood the market with cheap homes.
So are those fruit trees out there still alive when you got here? We moved in and all that?
Yeah, they were alive. They were in pretty bad shape, though. They hadn't been pruned for years, and nobody had been watering them. And the orange tree had a bunch of bad oranges on it, because that particular orange tree doesn't drop its oranges. It just they stay on there. And there were oranges on it that had probably been on there for 10 years. They were all dried up. So this is all the paperwork from the eviction. This is the business card of the lawyer that was kicking me out. He told me this is what he does all day, every day. He kicks people out of their houses for Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. That's his job, kicking tenants out of their homes. This is my rental agreement. This is what started the whole thing. I was paying $1,000 a month. And that's how it was until the foreclosure went through. And this is the sale agreement that we signed. It's 7 pages long. It says I'm going to move out July 22nd. And it was signed by Linda Mallory, the Assistant Treasurer of the Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation, and by me. And then this is all the paperwork that they filed to kick me out of there.
Don't break the floor.
Most of this was to stop the jury trial. A little bit of it was other stuff, notices and stuff. Maybe about, that much of it. The vast majority of this was to try to stop the jury trial. And I was successful at beating all of this paperwork, mostly just because the judge realized that they were trying to kick me out for no reason.
So you had crops here, huh?
Yeah, this is where the garden was. We had rows all along here. We had peppers over here, tomatoes, radishes. The Swiss chard was over on that side. You can still see a little Swiss chard plant over there, but it's not producing any food anymore. We had a real nice garden last year. I don't know if you're going to plant one this year, but there's not going to be time to harvest anything before July 22nd. Hey, Danny.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about your stuff that's in the container. All that stuff that you got in the storage container over there.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, down the street.
I'm getting kicked out of here, and I'm gonna get rid of most of my stuff, but I'm gonna have a whole container load left after I sell everything. I need you to figure out some place to put all that stuff so I can, you know, put my stuff in there.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of stuff, dude.
Yeah, I know. They're just filling up the whole corner of the container.
I don't know what to do. Because all I got is one room that I'm renting. And it's already packed. It's got my clothes, bike, and TV.
Yeah, there's not very much room in your room, that's true.
You love her, you hate her, you want to recreate it. Now, this is here, this is me, this is what I wanted you to see.
I came home after a hard day's work. I could see already that it was a different lock, not even a new one, a used one, probably from another Fannie Mae house where they've illegally locked people out. Neither of these work. Catch this too, this has only been broken for a year. Fannie Mae hasn't fixed that. So anyway, let's take a walk around to the back. This is what a unit looks like when somebody's living in it and paying the US government $800 a month, okay? Pan over to the left and you see what a unit looks like that Fannie Mae's taking care of and not collecting any rent on. In the back of this property, which used to be the backyard of this house, another 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit was built with a full 2-car garage. They evicted the people out of here 3 months ago. As of yet, there's been no effort to market that unit. Here's another unit available for rental that Fannie Mae is holding on to manipulate the real estate market. A perfectly good rental unit. You can see here a washer, a dryer, a refrigerator, cabinets, all the stuff in the back. This property's become a dumping ground. Look over here, locks have been changed. No notice whatsoever. No number to call, nothing. With hundreds of thousands of people that are homeless, and HUD has no money because of the sequester, yet Fannie Mae is kicking people out of units. They're breaking into sheds. They're breaking into metal cabinets that they have no business being in the first place. They aren't doing it through proper notice. I've been a tenant here for over 3 years. This is the side yard of Unit B that you saw in the front. Paid rent on time. That's how Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are taking care of properties, kicking people out and letting it go wild and ruining neighborhoods.
So this is what they want to do to my house.
That's what they're doing to everybody. When you hear that rents are going up and rents are strong, it's true. You know, when you have a government corporation, a pseudo-government corporation, that off the top of my head probably right now owns 1 million homes. We'll have to Google it.
You don't supposed to be there. They sticking to that. And the lady, she said, if he want to call the police, let him call the police.
My neighbor's out of town right now.
Oh, so he really through, because they're not going to wait on him. So that's not, that I'm just telling you.
Well,
because,
they'd have to have a court order to go in there. You can't just walk into somebody's
so
house.
anyway, I understand all that. And so you know the lady that really runs this, she don't care. Because you know what I was asking her about those washing machines and all of that? What did it go with? She said the bank, everything goes. And if they want to go to court, they go to court. But see, I'm getting paid to do a job, so I'm not going to keep coming back out here. They finna come and do whatever they have to do.
Well, I'm gonna call the police.
If the tenant that's on the lease moved, she not, I mean, she just gave up her responsibility.
Well, she might want to talk to a lawyer about that.
Yeah, well, they do this all the time, so I don't know.
Yeah, I know. They tried to do it to me, too. And I went to court and fought them.
Well, my problem is I can't get my job done.
Well, I talked to him earlier, and he told me that he was going to put it out of the house, and I told him, well, no, somebody lives there, you can't put it out of that house. And he said, well, you know, the management company told him to. And I told him, no, somebody lives there, and eventually he agreed, well, I'm going to leave that house alone and I'll just throw out the other place. But then when I was leaving, I saw all this stuff in his truck, so I asked him, you know, why is Michael stuff in the back of your truck? And he says, well, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to call the police. Anybody in there right now? Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh yeah, hang on a second, my neighbor wants to talk to you.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm going to call Scott, which is the property manager, or the repairs guy that I deal with from RPM.
Oh, okay. He's talking to the property manager, and then he'll talk to you in a minute.
Hey Scott, it's Mike. I just showed up at the residence, and there's 3 different apartments or whatever here.
Yeah, he says he's only going to clean up the outside, but that's what the guy said yesterday. They stole all your stuff.
Said that there was somebody here yesterday that stole a bunch of stuff.
Tell me to let him in, I will. But,
and that they weren't allowing me on the property because of that situation. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but you still have some stuff out there, like the seats and stuff that you need?
Yeah, if you just tell me what's yours, I won't take it, you know, just point out, and I'll just clean all the rest of it up. And I'm supposed to, I don't know if I gotta go inside. I just got this yesterday, and I have no idea. The logbox doesn't match the code that they gave me, so I don't know.
You want to talk to him?
Yeah, I'll try to double talk.
Yeah, he said if you...
How you doing, sir? My name is Michael. Okay, I'm here. I'm talking with the gentleman here. Hold on 1 second. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm doing, honestly. I just got the work order yesterday to come out here and do what they call a trash out. So I don't need to go inside your unit, but Unit B and Unit C, I just got to verify that there's no trash in there, and that I got, if there is, that I just got to get rid of it. And then I usually do like a walk around the outside of the perimeter and clean up all the garbage that I find. So if the gentleman that's here points out what's yours, I won't touch it. I'll just clean up all the stuff that maybe the last tenant left there. Okay, so nothing underneath that carport needs to go. It all stays here. Anything outside that area, it's left by somebody else.
Empty. Empty. Soon to be empty. Eviction in process. Probably soon to be empty. 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 2 units, each 2 bedroom, 1 bath. Empty. 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 Empty.
Makes me so damn sad. Why would they do that?
So you're selling everything, huh?
Yeah, getting rid of everything.
You're welcome.
Look, I got an invitation to the party.
Yes.
I got an invitation to the party.
Oh, an eviction notice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yippee-yi-kay. Michael J. Cronbull, by Clem Parker, by Duncan.
Oh, it's a different lawyer.
Oh, yeah. Well, Fannie Mae changes lawyers like they change their underwear. And you'd think they'd have government lawyers doing this, right? But no, they're hiring these private firms. These guys are probably billing out at $300 an hour.
Oh, look, they would have arranged for the new owner to assume your lease and you continue paying rent.
Oh.
That's the same thing they offered me.
What?
Oh, yeah, they sent me a letter almost exactly like this, saying
Here
that I
you
could pay rent and stay in the
If you believe you're a
property.
bona fide tenant pursuant to criteria above,
Yeah, and I called him up and I was like, yeah, and
we can arrange for a new owner to assume your lease. Well, the new owner's Fannie Mae, so he's made an offer,
Yeah.
and I will call and accept it, and that's the basis of Business Law 101. If an offer's made and you accept it, that's a contract.
yep.
So, excellent.
But it didn't help me much. I accepted the offer and they kicked me out anyway.
Too funny, man. Too freaking funny.
Come on, you're just in time. Look, it's 11:58. We're leaving with 1 minute to spare.
Oh my gosh, this is it. Dun, 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 dun,
Oh,
dun.
the plant. I forgot a plant. Look, it's 11:59.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm unplugging the clock.
Goodbye, house.
And we're out of here. Leaving behind 2 dead orchids.
Goodbye, dead orchids.
We'll lock it up.
Lock her up.
For the new owner, Freddie Mac.
Bye, piano.
And based on my inaccurate calculations, I'm locking the door at exactly noon. And we are out of here.
Officially locked. Goodbye, 37045 Locust Street.
Goodbye, trees. Born under a good sign. I've been dreaming of the sea since I was 3. A good sign, pointing out the way for me.
With the singer, yeah, I gotta lose that.
Born under a good sign, at a critical point in history. Sign out the warrant for me. Take me away and set me free. Show me the meaning of the tree.
Traveling light is the only way to fly. Traveling light, just you and I. One way ticket to ecstasy. We are bound. Follow me, traveling light.
I'm done.